Motion to approve the minutes of last month.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the December 1, 2025 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, so we have the plan review for 4514 Florida Avenue. Have a seat.
Yeah, good evening. My name's Dave Damon. Bob is also here. And we're here for 4514 Florida Avenue subdivision. It's a two-lot subdivision. The property actually extends from Florida Avenue to Fairview Avenue. 21,000 square feet. It's a 70-foot wide property. It has a residence up on Florida Avenue and also has a smaller
Was that the last meeting?
cottage house residence that's about halfway back between Florida Avenue and Fairview Avenue. And the Fagas are proposing to subdivide it. It would require the existing dwelling that's in the middle of the property to be removed. And it would create a second lot fronting on Fairview Avenue that could be developed with a conventional single-family dwelling.
Yeah.
It went before the zoning hearing board and was approved, and the variances were for the lot area, so it was just under for lot area for lots 1 and 2 for both lots. And the existing lot width of 70 feet was non-conforming applied, so that was the second variance.
All approved.
All was approved. It's an R3 residential district. So the lot, I mean, it's sort of set up for subdivision, the way it fronts on both streets. There's, sewer that was installed when the sewers were installed on Fairview Avenue for a future home. And we got the engineer's review letter. It's pretty much will comply with all the comments, but I can go through those. In that, it pointed out that there are waivers required, preliminary final. Also requesting a waiver to not install curb and sidewalks for Florida Avenue and Fairview Avenue.
Why is that? Do they not existing? Do they not exist?
No, right now, there's no curb and sidewalk. It's in that pretty much all Florida Park. Allison lives in Florida Park, not in this residence, but she lived there. It's familiar with it, but really no. Curb and sidewalk anywhere near here.
Yeah, there's no roads or sidewalks
Nothing.
anywhere.
Are there any, why don't you, rather than kind of going through it, can you comment on any that are not will comply or have some wrinkle that you can explain?
Or which waivers exactly you're going to request, etc.
Yeah, find out.
Well, those are the two that I think that, we would request. So the property, it's doesn't have any steep slopes, doesn't have anything environmentally significant in it. The lot where new home is proposed has a very large driveway that extends all the way up to the existing house. So that would be removed. We'd be reducing the impervious somewhat the way this is laid out. The one comment on stormwater has to do with, I think, replicating the stormwater discharge to Fairview Avenue. So we're
That's number
proposing,
10. You're
right, number 10.
Is there a storm sewer you connect to?
There's no storm sewers anywhere in that vicinity. It's all overland flow. And, we would comply with providing some sort of level spreader there. But I would say that right now, there's a driveway that's, that's about 200 feet long that is existing, that discharges right, adjacent to where we're proposing the smaller discharge. So we have a point discharge already going out to the street, and we'll be, reducing that point discharge pretty significantly because we're complying with the township stormwater ordinance, which requires no increase in runoff, but we're actually decreasing the runoff in our report pretty significantly. But that's something I would work out with Eric Johnson with Pinoni Associates.
One point, Mr. Johnson is available by Zoom. He is here
Okay.
on the screen. In case you had any questions.
Hello, Eric.
Hello. Confirmation.
Yes.
All right.
So I have a question here. I'm looking at your sheet, the stormwater site plan. And you are showing the seepage bed on one side because you're grading both sides of the driveway to discharge at 2 points. I just wonder, maybe it's not worth it putting the small one also on the other channel. Just to prevent the concentration of run.
Well, again, we're reducing an existing concentrated runoff. And it's not really spelled out. You'd have to go to the last sheet to see the size of that existing driveway that is discharging right to the street now, right at the center there. So I don't know that we're taking all that impervious and then treating it all and controlling it all, removing removing almost 4,000 square feet of impervious
Well,
By getting rid of the existing
by
driveway.
getting rid of the existing house, the sheds and the driveway.
well,
So,
if Eric agrees, it's fine.
yeah.
Are you discussing just, is there, the code is you have to reduce it, but is there an optimum design that maybe isn't, Shimon was saying, putting another seepage bed in, would that be an optimum design for what we're doing here versus just complying with the code?
I think what you always have to be cognizant of is not creating problems. And in particular, if this was somebody's house instead of Fairview Avenue, someone's property, then a level spreader becomes very important because you can't change the way that discharge enters someone's property. But because this is a street and because it has an existing point discharge from that driveway, I think that an overflow, so the seepage bed won't even discharge until it's like closer to, a 3 or 4 inch storm. So there'll be, zero discharge from
That's
it.
fine, then it goes into the ground.
Because
At least
it goes
is
into the
heavy.
ground for the smaller storms. So it's only during these, extremely large storm events that you'll see some water going out to the street, which right now you see every time it rains, like this morning, there was a pretty good discharge to that street. So I think that we're,
So if I may just make a suggestion. Since there is a concentration of flow on either side of the proposed driveway, at least when you plant it, make sure it's good vegetation. If it is grass, make it sod so it would hold. It's not a large area, but you don't want the erosion to destroy it, basically.
so comment number 3 requests that we dedicate additional right of way on Fairview Avenue, because right now it's deficient. It's only a 40-foot wide right of way. And that would require us to dedicate a 5-foot strip along Fairview Road, Fairview Avenue, and that would agree to do that as long as it doesn't create a zoning issue because we're deficient in we got the variance for the lot area. So we would have a gross area that would comply with the variance. The net area of that 5-foot dedication would reduce that lot area. And
Are you concerned that the setback would start further back and then create an issue?
the setback we can comply with right now. The required, front yard's 45 feet, so that and there's plenty of room. We can move that house back. Yeah, to comply with that extra 5-foot dedication.
Do we have a 50-foot setback back in that neighborhood?
It's 45 foot.
It says 50 is required. At the comment 3, the last,
50
40, but whereas 50.
is the right of way width of the road is what's
on
required.
the center of the road.
25 feet from the center.
Right, oh, yeah, just check.
So it would require us to shift this house back another 5 feet.
How do you get from the driveway to the house on lot 1?
So right now, there's a sidewalk that comes alongside there, and again, that was the comment. So the issue there is, if we exceed 500 square feet on that lot of new impervious, technically, we would have to add some stormwater management on that lot. So, I would agree, and again, that's something, if we go to put in a walk and we do exceed 500 square feet, we would put in a seepage bed for that, some sort of stormwater management.
Would you put in a pervious sidewalk or a pervious walkway?
Gravelers.
Yeah, well, there's no sidewalks at all in Florida Park. And, part of the zoning relief was this is going to be more conforming than most of the lots in the surrounding area. So even with the additional setback,
What I think that,
You're putting in a new
Paul's
driveway.
question was, so we have to put a driveway in for 4514 is having a sidewalk go that short distance over, so that people wouldn't
Otherwise, the
walk
people
across grass.
Getting out of their car, gonna walk on the grass
yeah,
or the mud,
right.
Right.
or the
But
snow,
We would add, a sidewalk.
some walkway, right?
Yeah,
And if it was if it was pervious, right? Yeah, if it was.
Eric,
pervious,
I
then you
can,
wouldn't have a
uh,
problem.
there are provisions in our stormwater code that does allow for pervious paving system if designed appropriately. So I think in that case, the intention of the comment is if they do install additional pavement, such as a walkway either now or in the future, then they'll have to comply with the stormwater code. And there's provisions of ways to do that, just like we would for any other permit.
But they're asking us to recommend it now, Eric. I mean, if we're gonna recommend to the Board of Supervisors that we approve this plan, don't you think we should look at the practicality of somebody walking out of their new driveway to the house?
True. Yes, I understand you can make a consideration or a recommendation on that. I can't say I don't have a code requirement that there is a walkway to the house, but if you see it so fit that that is a recommendation you want to make, that's in your purview.
yeah. And we would agree to adding a walkway.
Right, and you can make it permeable pavers, will also be nice, will not require maintenance in the future.
Andy, going back to the right of way. Well, code is 50 from the center of the road. What's most of the neighborhood? What do we, what is our right of way in that neighborhood for the most part?
I think Eric
Typically.
pointed out that the existing right of way is identified as 40 in Eric's letter,
Yeah,
but we're asking for the additional 10 feet. Eric may have a better reason as to why I think that that's normal. The 50 foot is more normal. What the cartway width is at the moment, I don't know. I would assume like around 24 feet.
No, my question is, you're saying normal, is that normal for that neighborhood or normal for the township? Like, it's an
Is it
older neighborhood.
consistent with the neighborhood?
Yeah, is 40 feet consistent with the neighborhood or is?
Is it gonna
Would
stick out?
50
Well, I mean,
feet-
I think, you mean as far as the setback of the home in relationship to in relationship to the
The
right
right
of
way.
way line?
Well,
So,
other properties
think-
in the neighborhood.
I think most of the homes were constructed while the center line of the road was actually the property line. So there was not a right of way established at when these older homes were constructed. So the deeds don't really match up because they reference the property to the center line of the road. So is it consistent? I think that the project overall is going to be consistent, more consistent with our code than maybe the other homes would be.
Yeah, that are already in
That are already-
existing in
Right.
the, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
Would you like me to elaborate on the reason for this code requirement? The code, subdivision land development code dictates what the required rights of way are for various classes of roads in the township. In this case, Fairview falls under classification that requires a 50-foot right of way. And there's a provision, which is quoted in the letter, that when a subdivision or land development is abutting on a street that does not meet that right of way width, that additional width needs to be offered for dedication as part of that subdivision or land development. So in this case, Fairview is a 40-foot wide right of way, which means you split it to either side. So that would be an offer of dedication of 5 feet on the Fairview frontage of Lot 2. It's not going to, you don't need to extend the road. You're not making any alterations. And in fact, the township may never actually take that dedication, but on the recorded plan, the offer is made that we could have that 5 foot of right of way.
so the house would not have to be moved. The applicant was indicating he thought the house would have to be,
Well, it would have to be slid back because they asked for that 40, our front yard dimension is taken from the right of way. So currently, they did that and they maintained 45-foot front yard. If the right of way was made greater by that additional 5 feet, they would have to slide the house in order not to have to request that as a variance, right? They would have to slide the house back to 5 foot in order for the front yard dimension to still be measured from the right of way.
Yeah.
Now, I can just throw it out there. The requirement is that they offer it. There is times where we feel that we may, in this case, you're going to have a 5 foot offer for that one 70-foot wide property, and then we don't have it on the abutting. We may not see it necessary to obtain that additional 5 foot offer of dedication. But that is a code requirement. So there are instances where we do not require that is offered. Just throwing that out there as, that is potentially an option. But yeah,
that was my question. I mean, if your neighboring lots are this and you've got greater, rights in the middle, well, you're not gonna stagger it. I mean, if you're running a.
Well, I mean, I don't think, I certainly don't have that option. We have to conform, and the plan was designed to be conforming to the current code.
Right.
So we don't necessarily have the luxury of saying, well, keep it consistent unless the zoning hearing board says that, right? And they didn't say that, that wasn't a request made because in this case, on lot 2, the plan was compliant with that front yard setback based upon the existing right-of-way dimension. There's room to slide it back because the required rear yard is only 30, and it's shown here that there's 45 available.
Right.
I don't know what that does to your grading plan. I mean, there's obviously considerations that have to be made for that, but I believe that it can be done.
Yeah, you
I don't
can
know
make
if
it
Mr.
work.
David feels otherwise.
Yeah,
Well, my concern was, and I guess I'll, reiterate it, is we received a variance for the lot area. So does this impact that variance? Because it would end up netting out that 5 by 70 area if it is dedicated to this township. So then we would be less than that variance. So, and I'm not certain, you know, how that plays out.
Yeah,
The other,
that is very true.
if that,
That's his walkway.
if that's the case, I would
Doesn't need to
request
keep
an
it.
additional waiver, so we would be more conforming with the rest of the neighborhood. Especially when it comes to setbacks.
Right away here.
Not many houses are set back, I don't know any that would be set back 50 feet from the existing right of way, which
Yeah.
we would end up
Yeah.
as.
You
mean, I would
prefer
just-
to ask for a waiver for this rather than go back to the zone?
Yes, if that's the path that we have to do.
Eric, do you have an
No, I think
opinion
it might
on
be from
that
the setback.
or a perspective?
Symbolizing the right
From this point.
I find very often, and actually even many projects that Dave and I have looked at, where the waiver of offering the dedication of additional 5 feet, in this case, is requested and is granted. Because we're talking about consistency. Right now, we have Fairview up and down. It's an established neighborhood. We have 40-foot rights of way. If that offer is made, you're going to have 40-foot. It's going to jog up 5 feet for 70-foot length and come back and be 40-foot. Is that really any benefit to the township to be obtaining that 5 foot? And maybe it's not. You know, I don't think there's any intention here to be widening out this road or developing this neighborhood beyond its existing conditions. So
Right.
it may not, there's a code requirement, but we may feel that it's not to the public benefit, and just may cause issues, having that additional 5 foot.
Dave, did you request a waiver for this issue?
Yes, yeah, I would intend to do that.
Yeah, have you already or not yet?
It would be.
It's a zoning issue, isn't it?
No.
Well, that would be us.
It would be something that I would request you, along with the other 2 waivers we discussed.
Yeah, well, you
This
need to
third
list them.
waiver,
I'm asking if
To
you
make a
already,
Yeah.
recommendation.
It is number 3, right? Is it number 3?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there
Subdivision
would be
abutting
3
the
waivers
existing-
we
the existing right of way with them.
request.
Fairview.
Since either way, a relief is needed, whether it is a waiver for the setback or
Yeah.
a zoning variance, I think it's a hassle for this to go back to.
I agree.
variance.
Yeah.
I understand.
So can
Makes
you
sense.
specify, so we've got a waiver, you want combined preliminary and final.
That we also want to not install curb and sidewalks. And that's number 4 on Eric's
Mhm.
letter. And the third would be number 3, would be request a waiver from that section 148-27D4 to not provide any additional 5-foot widening for Fairview Avenue.
Indeed, in cases like that, does the township have a position about a relief from sidewalk and curbs in lieu of money or anything?
I mean, I know sidewalk and curbs are always important to the board. I would say that I've not been given any direction from anyone. I've not been given direction from anybody, like Mr. Neese or the township solicitor, about this particular plan in any way, shape or form, other than Eric's review. I know that once it gets to the board, there'll probably be a discussion about sidewalk and curbing. It really is how you gentlemen feel in the fact that the existing neighborhood throughout, I don't know how many available lots or open lots like this are remaining.
No, sometimes I'm asking if the township have a position. The township has a position about asking for payment in lieu when they do not require installation.
Well, that's always a possibility. Yeah.
Is that something that the Board of Supervisors can deal with as opposed to us?
Sure.
Yeah, I think we would just say, we
Yes.
recommend you consider and what an
Yeah.
appropriate
Leave it-
response is.
Yeah,
if providing the sidewalks is not required.
It would be the only property in Florida Park with a
Right.
walking curb, which when they did the repaving, when they did the sewers, I was kind of hoping that they would put, at least a curb in.
In the neighborhood?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it wasn't done.
Yeah, I mean, we would just be leaving it to the supervisors. At some point in the future, we're not they're not just making a decision for today.
Yeah.
So,
So we are making a recommendation, but you will have to go in front of supervisors with that.
any public comment?
Public.
Limited public today? As opposed to last,
Wait,
earlier
you'll
this
mess.
month?
This is Pete.
That's his,
I Pete.
he usually speaks, but lost this.
Are there any other comments or people?
Ready?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the planning commission recommend the subdivision and land development application of Allison and Peter Fega to the Board of Supervisors, including the request that there be a waiver of the preliminary and final subdivision application requirement, that there be a waiver of the 1,000 foot of recreational land provided to the Board of Supervisors' discretion, whether a fee should be required for that waiver. That there be we would recommend that there be a waiver of the existing right-of-way width for the Fairview Avenue property on Lot 2 to whatever is appropriate as it's designed in the plan. We'd further recommend that the requirement for curbs and sidewalks not be mandated on this application, since it's an existing neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhood does not have curbs and sidewalks. And we would also recommend that if there is any type of sewer connection with the existing lateral, that it be followed as recommended by the township engineer. We'd also recommend and request that the Pannoni letter be fully complied with, and any requirements of the township fire marshal and the arborist also be required in this recommendation.
A second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and happy holidays.
Good luck with your project.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Yeah. $5,000.
Divine it out of the. Yes.
Well, he's. Right, yes, he's a.
Yeah. You have a motion to adjourn?
Is that her husband?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
Aye.
Good luck, Paul. We hope you survive.
So what are you going to do?
But
like a couple meetings here that end,
like, I have younger kids, so it's the day before Christmas Eve, she's on overload. Oh, yeah.